You're listening to the Fours Up Podcast with your host, Marsh.
Welcome on in to the Fours Up Podcast. It's your guy, Jordan, and tonight I got my guest co-host, Derek Coe. Derek, what up, man?
What's good, Jordan?
Dude, it's good, man. It's a good day. So I guess I should address, Marsh announced on Twitter just a little bit ago that his dad passed away today. And that's why I got co-hosting with me. And, so condolences out to the Thomas family and Marsh and, everyone affected by that loss. We're definitely thinking of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's sad news, man. So
it's
everyone
rough.
reach out to Marsh, just let him know that you're thinking about him and send your good thoughts or your prayers or, whatever suits your fancy there. And, but we do have a pretty good show coming today. We got Damien Berry, former Hurricanes running back. So, yeah, man, you pretty excited, Co?
Oh, listen, man. I love DB. I love his whole family. I've known them for a long time, man. He's one of my favorite players that ever come through there. Just like his dad. Obviously his younger brother Keon played there for a year.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, great family, man. His mom, beautiful mom, just good people. All around, just good people.
Yeah, cool, man. I'm actually I'm excited that you're hosting with me because I know that you and Barry know each other a little bit. I'm hoping you guys' chemistry, it should make for a great interview. So I'm pretty pumped about that, man.
Good, man. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Cool. Well, so quick podcast news. We were blowing up Twitter with it yesterday, but so on the Apple podcast charts, the Fours Up Podcast is now the 8th ranked football podcast in America. Dude, that's huge, man. I was grinning from ear to ear all day, jumping up and down in my room. It's a trip, man. So just to Canes fam, I love you guys. Thank you so much. It's amazing. Crazy stuff,
it's amazing
man.
It's crazy what social media can do for you. You know what I mean? It can either make or break you.
Dude, it is, man. It is. I mean, I was so this morning I was on Slam Radio, Sirius XM channel 145. I was on national radio this morning, man, and it was in December, so just 6 months ago, I had 100 followers on Twitter. And now I'm on national radio, so it's crazy.
You gotta love it, man. Listen, it's a blessing, just to literally. You probably never thought that you would be sitting there behind a microphone just talking sports or things in general, and next thing you know, you're talking on national radio. It's definitely a blessing, man. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for Brad. I'm happy for Marsh.
Yeah.
Like we were just talking earlier, man. Sky's the limit for you guys, man.
Yeah. I hope, and dude, everyone in Canes fam has been so great that I hope, I hope we have the same vibe and are able to continue on with that where, we're getting lots of people involved and everyone's having a good time and feeling the love and stuff because there's so many great people out there, man. It's those Zoom calls that we're on is just, gosh, it's so freaking cool.
I love it, man. It's, you build a family, you build a network, you build an empire, you know what I mean? And all you can do is be thankful, don't get too cocky, too egotistical. Just, be humble, be thankful. And I think that's the right way to go about it, man. When you start getting big headed and think you're bigger and better than the next person, I think that's when you get the ball that drops on your head and brings you down to reality,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, man. It's good times right now. It's exciting times. We got the Garcia to the U hashtag that's blowing up,
God.
Had Gino Toretta tweeting that and
Brad Kaya.
What's your take on that, Co? Do you think that's gonna happen? You think he's gonna flip?
I'm a big proponent of honoring your commitment, right? So maybe because I'm a little older, I'm a little more old school. But you never know. I mean, obviously he's shown Miami so much love over the years. Yeah. I mean, over the last year and stuff. And then, he felt like the right decision, especially being a West Coast kid, was, to commit to USC. I've never been a proponent of like being afraid of competition.
Yeah.
And obviously we can relate back to like obviously when I was a little younger watching the Canes play, when you literally had James Jackson, Davenport, Portis, Gore, McGahee in the backfield. Like that's crazy. And then even going back with Damien and Miller and Mike James, and Cooper, like it was just the competition was there. And like that just, I think that builds more character for you. I think it brings out the best in you. Not saying that he couldn't come here and compete with like TVD or Nicosi or who else here, but I think it's a great hashtag. I think like Twitter's blown up with it. Just to see former players, former Heisman Trophy winner tweet the same thing out, like not that it's comical, but it's interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, like how much of that does he see? Is he one of those kids who was literally like a social media diva, or does he just kind of, let it ride? You know what I mean? So I would like to see him come here, because I think if he did decide to come here, him and TVD over the next 4 years, I think it just brings that quarterback room like that much tougher, that much fiercer. And that competition would just be, lit up on Green Tree.
Yeah. Yeah, and he would be the highest rated quarterback that we've recruited since Kyle Wright, which is kind of mind blowing to think about it.
Oh man, and listen, man, I know Kyle, and like, oh man, I felt bad for him, but again, you go through 4 different offensive coordinators in your 4 years. It's very hard to try to get stability with an offense when things keep changing. I don't want to say things were all his fault. But
absolutely.
Again, it's different. It's different coming from a high school level playing at the college level. You know what I mean? So maybe he just couldn't grasp it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's true at all levels. So the situation, I think, imagine if Joe Burrow got selected by the New England Patriots. I mean, how would people feel about the potential of his career, right? It's a different thing going to the Cincinnati Bengals as opposed to playing for Bill Belichick. So, I mean, I'm with you.
Well, what happens with that, right? So you look at, like, say, Joe Burrow. Let's take Joe Burrow. Like, he goes to Cincinnati. Obviously, Cincinnati is, I don't want to call them like a doormat program, but they're not really where they could be or where they should be or where they want to be. But, like, if they go 2-14, is it on Burrow? Is it on the coach? So it's like you're really put into a bad situation when you're literally a high-rated, player coming out of college, going to a bad team in the NFL. So
I feel you, man.
Like I was talking to Brad about that yesterday. Like, look at Brady being 199 at the end of the 6th round. Like, if Bledsoe doesn't get hurt, who knows what happens with Brady? So you never know.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, a number of things could happen. He could have, sat behind Bledsoe for a long time because Bledsoe was pretty good, or, he could have bounced around to other teams where he just didn't get the opportunity. So who knows, man? But we should probably call in Damien right now and get him on the line. You cool with that?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Damien, how are you, man?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing pretty good. You got Derek Coe on the line.
What's going on, DC?
What's good, man?
Yep. So we welcome to the podcast. We got former Miami Hurricanes running back, former NFL running back, Damien Berry. So, Damien, my first question for you, man, we were just talking about this before we called you in, is we were talking about competition at Miami and how that's kind of bred some of our best players. Dude, in 2009, man, the running backs room was Greg Cooper, it was Mike James, it was yourself, and it was Lamar Miller, man. You got to tell us about that. What was that like, having that much talent in one position room?
Man, it was a great opportunity for each and every one of us to state our claim, to show the world that we are the best running back crew. We forgot about, Storm
Johnson. Yes, sir.
Forgot about Lee Chambers. So,
correct.
I mean, we always pushed each other to be the best. If I get 10 yards, Coop wanted to get 12. If Coop got 12, JJ wanted to get 15. And if JJ got 15, Lamar wanted to go 60. He was the speedster.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's crazy. I mean, I think it's kind of underrated. Like in those years, I think we put out a lot more pro talent than most of the fans would think of. Probably because the record didn't match, how many guys were getting drafted every year. But yeah, man. So tell us about the 2010 season when, you guys came into it with some high expectations and, it ended up going 7-6. Like give us the rundown of what happened that year.
I mean, a lot of miscommunication, a lot of things going on with the offense. We sputtered a lot, man. We had the talent, of course. We just couldn't finish the way that we would like to.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so I got a fun trivia question for you right now. So, there are 5 running backs in University of Miami history to rush for 100 yards in 3 consecutive games. Can you name all 5?
It would have to be Willis McGahee, Edgerrin James, myself, Frank Gore, and it had to be Duke.
So you got 4 of them. It was actually Clinton Portis was the one that you missed.
Clinton,
yeah. Yeah. But man, I was reading up on you and I saw that stat and I'm like, dude, that's crazy. That's so cool that like that's so cool to be in that group.
Yeah, man, it's an honor to be even mentioned with those guys because those guys had long careers in the NFL, Hall of Famer type dudes. Man, it was a great opportunity, man. If I had a chance to do it all over again, I would still choose UM, man, just because of the brotherhood and the camaraderie that we had.
Absolutely. Hey, Damien, quick question for you. Obviously, you're a second generation, Miami Hurricane. How did you feel playing where your dad played?
It was a different feel because I came in as a safety, cornerback, defensive back. It was a different feel. Like it was like I was kind of ready just to be the next Sean Taylor, Ed Reed, type dude. Figuratively why I got the number 20. It was just.
You remember that shirt I made, right? What you know about me, boy? 20 DB, boy. I'm the best RB, boy. Obviously, I was around the program at the time that your dad was kind of finishing up, his career. Obviously, your dad playing corner. Again, is that why you, like through high school and stuff like that, wanted to play on the defensive side of the ball because of your dad? Or was that just kind of your natural given ability? Because I remember, after your sophomore season, and we had our spring game at Lockhart, and next thing you know, and if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but didn't you used to wear number 38?
Yeah, I started my freshman year. I wore 38 because they didn't think I was worthy enough to wear 20 yet. So
yeah, and then we're at Lockhart Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. We're there at the spring game, and out of nowhere, here comes this cat, just like. I'm like, and we're all looking around like, who's this cat running the ball? Like we didn't know who Damien Berry was at that time, and then it literally just like took off for you. And I think your senior year, you rushed for almost 900 yards. I think right around 900 yards. I remember the Ohio State game, up there in the horseshoe. Like we just nothing but love for you and your family, man. And when you transitioned from DB to running back, did it have to change? Did you have to change anything? Like, did you have to change like mentally on what to do and what not to do?
I was playing running back. I was frustrated because that's not what I went to the University of Miami for. So it was a decision made by Coach Shannon, and I mean, obviously it worked out. He's a great coach. He knows he has an eye for talent. He has a knack for talent. He actually told me that running back would be a better fit for me than DB, and I would go farther as a running back than I would as a DB. And I kind of was, as a kid, still a kid, as a man, but a kid, you don't see the bigger picture. And I know he's already been in that realm for years. So, I just decided to trust him, but that didn't still, soften the feeling that I was upset at